Again, we got a great list for a funeral home or cemetery. So Woodville Cemetery in Ohio has been in operation since the 1850s. The history of the business, they list these really interesting facts I wanted to share. That pagan rituals really were the historic basis to a lot of what we do. Modern mourning clothing came from the custom of wearing special clothing as a disguise to hide identity from returning spirits. So that's why sometimes people dress in specific clothing. Pagans believed that returning spirits would fail to recognize them in their new attire, and they'd be more confused and they would overlook them. Interesting. Covering the face of the deceased with a sheet arises from pagan tribes who believe that the spirit of the deceased escaped through the mouth. We often do that. We cover the person when they die in the home. Floral offerings were originally intended to gain favor with the spirit of the deceased and also helped covering odors. Flowers are one of the oldest traditions in funerals. Feasting and gathering associated with the funeral began as the essential part of the primitive funeral where food offerings were made. The firing of a rifle volley over the deceased comes from the tribal practice of throwing spears into the air to ward off spirits that might be hovering over the deceased. Holy water originally was sprinkled on the body to protect it from demons. A lot of Christian things that are coming over. Funeral music originated from the chants that used to be done to ward off the spirits. Lighting of candles comes from the use of fire and attempts to protect the living from the spirits. The practice of ringing bells comes from the medieval belief that spirits would be kept away by the ringing of a consecrated bell. All things that we see, we know, we hear about when it comes to funerals. These are all things that the pagans all did over time when they were having funerals as well. So these are all things that have transpired. So it's interesting. Thank you, Woodville Cemetery in Ohio, for sharing this list. What other lists inspire you guys that you find, or information on funeral home or cemetery websites? Share it with me.